I'm going to get into this whole offense thing here soon, but
That is free.
another person cannot offend you.
That's right.
You've said that multiple times. That's still sinking in.
I know it's so sad for all of us who've been offended,
Yeah.
which is everybody in this room.
Yeah, right.
Because we don't want to think, we have this persuasion that it's one or the other.
Yeah.
And if it's ours, then we find it as some fault with us. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. It means that some lie has come against us at some point in our life that's caused us to stumble at the truth concerning ourselves. And now we've related to the world around us through that lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time someone triggers that lie, we get hurt and offended.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so that doesn't now mean there's something wrong with us or we're the bad guy. It means that, listen, the way to be set free is to realize the reason you're hurt ain't because of what somebody did to you. It's because of what's in your heart that's hurting you. And now when I stop blaming somebody else, I stop self-justifying or trying to justify the hurt that I feel as if it's right.
Yes.
And then I now talk to God about the hurt that I feel, and the foundation from where the offense can be ripped out of my heart is now existing.
Wow.
Right?
Free.
And then you're free. It's like, when I say this all the time and people get upset, but I'm not creative. I can only say what I experienced. I thought I was free from people saying I was too intense. When I got up on that stage and people started saying that, I'm going to be honest. For like the first 6 months, I thought, what the hell is wrong with those people?
Mm-hmm.
And I was offended. I was hurt by what they were saying. Don't they see I'm up here trying to serve them with my life? You see what you start doing. So that's all the Adam thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't, I mean, after about 6 months of doing that, I thought, that don't sound like the mind of Christ. That somehow I didn't see, and then so that didn't make me think, well, let me go bring it about the mind. It made me go to God and say, what's happening here?
Yeah.
You know, why is this bothering me? That was the foundation from where he started ripping out the lie.
Mm.
See, that was the foundation from where he started being able to work with my heart, and my heart started being able to heal. Where I stopped trying to self-justify whatever was going on in me, which is what we try to do.
Sure.
We look at what's going on in us, and then we try to prove that it's okay. It's good. Because if it's not as it ought to be, we think that means we're not as we ought to be.
Exactly.
And those two things aren't connected.
Right.
We need to be able to realize that this offense and this hurt that I'm feeling is not as it ought to be, but that doesn't mean I'm not as I ought to be. So I don't need now to blame somebody else for the hurt that I feel. I can now just go straight to God because I know that I'm still as I ought to be, and now I can say, Lord, why is this pain here? And now I've made my heart available for Him to rip out the thing that's been bringing me the pain.
Mm.
And since that happened to me, I've been caring a lot less when people say that I'm too intense, or I'm too loud, or I'm too much. I find it funny now.
Yeah.
But the first thing that had to happen was the Adam mind had to go concerning that.
Yeah.
Adam, when he felt ashamed, when he felt wrong, he blamed Eve and he blamed God.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what offense wants to do. Something at some point in our life has come along to cause us to stumble at the truth about ourselves. Whether it's we're rejected, whether it's we think we're rejected, we think we're no good, we think we're this, we think we're that, we think it's bad. Something has come along, and what that does is it sends us off into a life of self-justification.
Sure.
Where we roam the world all the days of our lives looking for evidence that we are as we ought to be. Looking for evidence from the world to justify us. So then I start looking to people to say, you preach great, Greg. You're not too intense. You're not too loud, blah, blah. I was looking for that as the proof that I'm not too intense.
Right.
But that's a life of self-justification. Do you see? That's a life of looking for evidence in the world or from other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Adam life.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never be justified on the inside. You'll never have peace with yourself on the inside looking for evidence or validation from the approval in the world.
Right.
Or from the approval of people.
Yes.
And you'll always labor and toil to look for it.
Right.
And so once I saw that, man, I let go. And now I was no longer offended by that. I was no longer self-justifying. When somebody said that about me, I was like, glory to God, man, let me send you a link to a preacher who isn't as loud as me or isn't, as intense as me. Let me send you a link to a guy who just sits there.
Yeah.
And I could be happy about it. I couldn't be sitting there thinking, like, doesn't that guy know that the way I'm preaching is good? Do you see the difference there?
Oh, it's huge. Yes.
But we all think that somebody else is responsible for what we feel.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, absolutely right.
Yeah, and